Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's nugget, Consequences of Sin. Genesis 3 describes the fall of Adam and Eve and some of its most tragic consequences. First, both Adam and Eve were overtaken by theophobia, being afraid of God, and they hid themselves from God. Whereas before they had welcomed the voice of God and ran to it, they now ran from it. And it is true in our own experience also that when we sin, we don't naturally seek out the presence of God, which is why in His mercy, God comes looking for us as He did for Adam and Eve. Second, Adam and Eve were ashamed of themselves and began to accuse each other. Sin affected their marriage and affected their relationship with each other. And it is true in our own experience too, that sin makes us feel shame, and sin affects our relationships with those we love. Third, Adam and Eve would now sweat, feel pain, and eventually die. And the world, as they knew it, began to degenerate. Though Adam and Eve did not die immediately in the sense of ceasing to live, on that very same day, they received their death sentence. The Lord told Adam, "In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread till you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return." Genesis 3, verse 19. And we all today experience the consequences of what happened in the Garden of Eden. We all feel pain. We all get sick. We all see death in the world around us. Many of us have experienced the crushing grief of losing loved ones. We have felt the sting of death. And all of us will eventually die unless Jesus comes before we do. And what we see from the account of Genesis 3 is that sin has consequences. Even when God forgives, and He does forgive liberally, He doesn't always remove the consequences of our sin. Don't believe the lie that you can just live in sin as you wish to without consequence. Sin has consequences, very real, painful consequences. Sin will hurt us. Sin will hurt the ones we love. Sin will hurt our relationships. But what's beautiful about the Bible story is that it does not end with human sin, but it takes us to the foot of the cross where we find hope in Jesus' power over sin and over death. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.